Good morning, this is Colby Root, and I'm going to continue our astrology lessons. Astrology hinting at astronomy, our lessons, by reviewing a little bit what we looked at last week, which was how to use the internet and find, our ascendant, our sun, and our moon, which kind of display the basic personality, the blueprint of the basic personality of somebody when they're young. Okay? So our goal today, one, is I want you to conceptually get the idea and understand what ascendants are and how from that you determine where all the other planets are. Okay? Now, I've only included 2 planets here, or well, the sun and the moon. I don't know if the moon's a planet. I've only included those 2 here, but all the planets exist in the heavens when you're born, and they all are in different signs, different places, and they're all moving at their own pace. But I made this chart for you to illustrate the rotation of the Earth. Now I've lined everything up so they're in the archetypal. What they would call the rulers of their houses, right? Like the first house here is usually ruled by Aries. My Aries, I have a sun in Aries, but it's not in the first house. Why? Because just imagine this is the Earth and it's rotating. Okay? And the Earth is rotating. If you had your eyes focused on one area of the horizon at night, you were looking at Orion, say, and you didn't move, eventually you wouldn't see Orion anymore, you'd see something else, right? Because the Earth is rotating, and that's basically how the ascendants come about. It's the point where the sun just crests the eastern horizon when you were born, the exact moment you were born. So without further ado, I'm going to show you, remember every 2 hours, the Earth is rotating. Every 2 hours, it goes into a new sign. Okay, and it goes 24 hours. It goes through them all. Now, for me, I don't know. I was born 245, and it didn't start off exactly Aries in the house 1, but eventually, I'm at 2:45 p.m. My sun is in the 8th house. Okay, and my moon is in the 5th house. Have I got that in the 5th house? I believe so, yes. Okay, so my moon is in the 5th house, but you'll notice on the cusp of the 8th house, I've got Pisces, but I have my sun in Aries in the 8th house. So the whole idea that everything lines up real perfectly, that's not what astrology is. It's just a way of looking at pieces of your personality and other people's personality if you study them. Anyway, so my first house, my ascendant is in Leo, but I have a lot of Virgo there. My 5th house, I have my moon in my 5th house. What does that mean? I would have to look that up. My sun in the 8th house, what does that mean? I would have to look that up. So now this is about the 5th time I've tried to record this, and I never get through the whole thing. So before it shuts off, so I wanted to show you these are the words I would use to look up these components of my basic personality. Okay, so use natal because it's your birth. And not a progress chart, but it's a natal chart. It's not a predictive chart. It just shows personality. Natal chart, my sun in the 8th house. Now, you might have yours in the 5th house. You type it in, natal sun in 5th house. You might have your moon in the 9th house. Natal moon in 9th house. You might have your ascendant in Pisces, or your ascendant in Aries or Libra or something. So you want to look those components up, and they're going to tell you. There's plenty of information, plenty of essays, plenty of paragraphs written about what it means